All right. Let's go live on YouTube then. Let's bring it to the people. Let's bring it to the people. How we feeling over there?
We're doing great.
All right, beautiful. So we're gonna just hang out here for a little bit, just jamming for a little bit until the people come in. Woo, baby! How we doing, everybody? Mr. Fly, Ronald Jesus, 4249, Logan Stark, the Infelice. We got Worst Mood, Danny McClain in the house. What's going on? Snow Dog Girl, Mr. Checkpoint. Am I on the same? All right, we're good. Okay. We are now live. You like my copyright-free music I'm jamming out to?
Beautiful.
You like that, Devin? Devin in the house, what's good? All right, Senate, how we feeling?
I'm feeling great.
Bring a noosh to the house. I hear Dre is tuning in, Jimmy Iovine coming down the pipeline. Everybody on Instagram, make sure to click the link in the bio and come on over to YouTube, because that's where the party is at right now. That's where it's going to go down. That's where we're going down. This is where it's happening. Can you hear me all right over there, Mr. Senate?
Yes, sir. Check 1, 2.
Check 1, 2, baby. Yes. All right. All right. My dude, my guy. I think that I think we should kick this bad boy off. I think we should kick this off and just dive right in. Ladies and gentlemen, my friends, my family, my people, my name is Alexander Mendera, and I am here turning my ghetto-ass music off. Normally, they let me play James Brown, but YouTube shut my ass down because of copyright infringement. We're going to be talking about the future of music, the now of music. We're going to be talking about how you listen to music and how you can get paid. How you can get paid, people, to share the music that you love. And I'm here with my man, Senate, in the house. Everybody give it up for Senate D. Davenport. Woo, woo, woo! Influencer marketing extraordinaire. My brother from another mother, the founder of Wavy, the new platform that is specifically designed to help you discover music, help artists distribute music, labels distribute music, and for you, the influencer, the creator, to get paid for sharing music that you love. Welcome, brother man. Glad to have you, bro.
Oh, so happy to be here. Thank you. Welcome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Now, this has been a long-ass time in the making, hasn't it? How long have we been working on this?
I would say that this is a start. I mean, I would say that this is starting since 2011 in a weird way, since I started doing some deals on Twitter and ads. But I would say at least a year of you and I hitting the books and trying to figure out how to make this work and if it's possible.
So a lot of the people who are going to be tuning in and watching this after the fact are influencers, are creators. They are have probably been in the Instagram game for a minute. They're either working with brands or want to work with brands. Now you have come up in the influencer game. You've helped raise some household names. You've worked with some big brands like Dolce & Gabbana, Beats, Donnie Song. You've seen the transformation. Perhaps you could give a little bit of backstory about yourself and what you've gone through and where you are now.
Yeah, very good. So it was 2011 was the first time I used a relationship I had, a buddy. I went to high school with, Rob Kardashian, and I had some friends that owned a jewelry company, and I decided to be like to the jewelry company, hey, would you guys be interested in getting promoted on Rob Kardashian's Twitter account? They asked how much. I made up a number, went back to Rob with that number. He was happy. And that was the first time I ever put to a tweet, you know, a celebrity and a product. And the response, truthfully, then was like incredible. They had more page views than they had ever had before. The traffic was instant. The sales were instant. Whatever he promoted, everything was sold that he shared. And so I saw there was something there with this like Twitter celebrity stuff. And then fast forward to 2013, I met Donnie Song. At the time, she had maybe tens of thousands of followers. And she said brands were DMing her, sending her some goodies. And so I kind of naturally was like, you know, let me respond and see if I can get you paid. And, you know, funny enough, we were getting like $50, okay, from these brands that would send the shoes and a $50 check. So, okay, then we got to $70. And that went all the way to tens of thousands of dollars in like maybe 2 to 3 years. Her following went to over 500,000. We did little tips and tricks. We did giveaways, contests. We linked her with other influencers and celebs in the space. We leveraged brands. So sometimes not only would we get paid, but I'd be like, no, not only are you going to pay her, you're going to repost her, you're going to share her, you're going to share her this many times on your page, right? And so leveraging what really an industry nobody had any clue about. There were no metrics. There was nothing online about how much anyone should get paid. I was able to kind of just make it up and define it and give it valid and reasonable excuses, if you will, to charge this amount. And yeah, I was fortunate enough to work with just like some of the biggest brands in the game. Were you going to say something?
So, did you like set out to kind of make this a career, or did it kind of just fall into your lap in this way?
It literally fell in my lap. I was doing something totally different. And basically her DMs ended up becoming more and more. Those turned into emails, and it became a full-time job where I was managing her. I started managing some of her friends. We launched an e-commerce company. So it was called Anarchy Street. We sold hundreds of thousands of dollars of merchandise every year, where we'd buy it downtown LA, resell it, and we'd spend $0 on marketing or advertising. And it was just using the same influencers I was negotiating the brand deals with to promote the products that we were just, whole thing became a full-time thing. I've never known anything about fashion. I don't even know how to pronounce Gabbana or spell half of the brand names I was working with. Didn't know any of them, and just negotiated smart brand deals and strategic things that worked for her and them at the end. So that's kind of, yeah, it definitely became a full-time thing.
Wow. So this was back in the glory days where you could post a photo and like you would actually grow and brands would actually make money. What has changed since then in the landscape?
So I think one major player that's always changing is like updates of Instagram and the platforms we're sharing on, right? So as those change, everything changes essentially, which we can get into. And that's being just really current and trying stuff all the time, right? Failing all the time because you're trying so much stuff. Most of it's failing, but the one thing that will work is what will pass you up on everybody else. So that's one thing, is the platform changing. The second thing is the amount of content that was delivered that we were creating essentially, right, became 100-fold, right? The amount of influencers now posting avocado toast is a million X. Okay, so an avocado toast isn't that cool anymore, right? And so that, I think, has become a real issue and problem in different spaces of basically, you know, the same content being reproduced, right? You see your favorite blogger doing it. Now you go to John and Vinny's, you take that photo. These things become less meaningful, I think, over time. And so it's about doing less of what you see and doing more about what you can do, you know, and it's hard to make that jump.
So is this an issue of saturation or an issue of creativity, or both?
Yeah, it's a saturation of non-creative people. You know, or and I don't want to say they're not creative, but really you know, and again, I saw this very much in the fashion space of just like people, a few people doing something and the masses falling and then recreating all of that same content that initially did very well, but I think slowly started doing less well. And again, it's, I think they don't realize that like that home cooked granola recipe that they have is actually cooler than like trying to redo that avocado toast picture because they saw someone else do it.
Right. Right.
You know, and I think it's a tricky thing because you see that working, right? So you don't want to try your own thing, but it's really, that was their thing, you know, and it's finding that thing for yourself. So again, it's trying a bunch of different things technically in the platform, but also being creative in yourself. If you're not creative in yourself, I don't think you really have a chance.
Okay, I love that. I love that. So it's about going deeper into yourself, tapping into that stuff. And as you guys know, who are watching, who are part of the Disruptive, you know, we focus so much on the personal branding because it's that thing that makes you unique, right? That will separate you. It's what's sexy and unique to you.
Everything, right? And to me, that's someone, it's like they can actually crush it. Maybe they only post once a week, but like that post is the crusher post. Everyone can't wait for it. Or maybe the person posts 10 times a day. Neither to say neither's right or wrong, but like, what are you posting? Why? Is it super original? Is it, you know, et cetera. So that's where like, I think it's hard to, oh, this. It's like, be unique and then let it come out. And then use all the tips and tricks because you have to, right? If you're super unique, but you're going to 4 people and you're not able to leverage and let all 4 people know you're there and only one of the 4 sees it, you were super unique and cool to the one person, but it didn't have
Right.
Yeah.
So that makes sense, and that sets up kind of this transition, this beautiful transition into the space where is the untapped frontier? Where is the industry within the influencer marketing space that hasn't been touched, that hasn't been saturated, that hasn't been tainted with avocado toast? Where are you seeing this going? Where are you seeing the new pictures of avocado toast about ready to spring up?
Yeah, so that brings us really into wavy, I think.
Like that, you like how I set that up? Boom.
Boom. No, that brings us into wavy, and really wavy was built from a real need, right? As like a little micro influencer myself, as trying to grow these major influencers as if they were myself, right? Because as a manager, I'm trying to build them as if it's me. That's my interest, is their interest, right? So I was sitting in their shoes, in your shoes, I still am. And I found if I want a pair of shoes, if I want a watch, if I want a bracelet, right, we can all DM that brand. We can go on the website. We can email press at whatever, PR. Hey, you know, I have this following. Can you please send it to me? I'll promote 100 times. There's a chance you'll get the shoes, you'll get the bracelet. But the thing is, if there's music we like, we want to endorse, we want to share. One, we don't know where to go. You just tried to have some music in the background of our live chat, and the music stream wouldn't let you, right? So not only is there an element that you don't know how to reach out to them and, hey, can I use that song behind my cool video? It gets 10 million views. They would love you to put that song behind their video, right? But they don't know how to make that connection work. You don't know how to reach them. They don't know how to reach you. And it's just very separated industry of the music and the influencer space where we want to bridge that gap and bring them together. So
I love that.
The label.
Yeah. Go on.
So the label and the artist, instead of old traditional ways, which really the only way I know of is the radio you turn on in the car. Other than that, how else can they get influencers to get that same reach, right? The same reach of radio. Let's say it's 200 million. How can you get 400 million? Well, we can use social influencers. I have done it, right? I generated sales on different e-commerce platforms. I've downloads, everything in terms of the influencer space, but how come we can't get music endorsed and to compensate us to get people to listen to the music we love? And that's what Wavy allows you to do. Whether you're a big influencer, the hugest celebrity, or a micro small guy reaching 1,000 people, you should be able to get paid when someone clicks on your playlist or clicks on the song because of you and finds that new artist, because that's worth something to the label. That's worth something to the new artist that they're missing out on.
That's brilliantly put. It's crazy to me that every single industry is caught on to influencer marketing. Now everybody's talking about influencer marketing. It was a $1 billion industry last year. It's going to grow to like 4 or 5 billion in the next few years. There's people who are saying influencer marketing is dead, which is a joke to me because we're seeing the numbers. We're working with brands. We're seeing influencers driving results. And we're seeing people promoting music that they love naturally already. I've got a friend and a client, Sammy Wilk, who told me a story about his boy who had like 1,000 followers or something like that. But then Kylie Jenner posted a snap of her Spotify track, listening to him, and did it like 3 times, and now he's gone platinum, right? And so, you know, that's the Kylie effect or whatever. That's an extreme case. But when you think of democratizing how we distribute music, how do we listen to music now? We got Spotify, we got Apple Music, we've got the radio, and all of them are playing the same thing. And so how do we differentiate that? And how do you listen to music? For me, I listen to music that people recommend. And right now it's also, there's a black market coming up for artists to promote music on playlists through Spotify and whatnot. So like the underground world is noticing that this is real. It's already happening. Why do you think it's taking so long for this to become a thing, to become a reality?
So I think anyone who says like influencer marketing is dead 100% has never done it. Okay, they hadn't done it before and they haven't done it now. That's like a fact, because anyone who's doing it is seeing the best results, the highest ROI, and the best everything, right? In terms of growth on social media via influencers. Essentially, there's nothing more fruitful than that, and that is why Instagram and Facebook is doing a lot of things to try to look for those sponsored ads and look for things that could be ads, right? So that they can block them, so you give your money to them, right? At the end of the day, when you pay an influencer money to reach 500,000 people, you're taking money away from Facebook. You should be paying Facebook that money to reach 500,000 people, right? That's their platform. Right. So it is ludicrous to think that it's going anywhere. If anything, it's so proven that the biggest companies in the world are trying to figure out how to get in the way of it, right? And that's why, again, they're changing so much, right? And we got to stay on top of that part. As far as like the Kylie effect, it's absolutely real and it's happening. And you know, the Kylie effect can maybe or not prove the concept of potentially what we're trying to do with this, with that little example you said. But, you know, we have so many studies, right, that show that people with that smaller following, even like the 1 million to 15 million, right, can actually have more engagement, more influence that's trackable than even these influencers in the 100 million, right? And so when you have the same number of Kylie Jenner followers,
what about,
or even little, even the 10,000 followers, right? And so when you have an army of influencers with 10,000 followers and they make up that same number of Kylie Jenner, I'm gonna have doubts on who can actually push that strength. And that's the point, is we can make that army of influence and we can compensate them to the liking of what a Kylie Jenner would get compensated for her influence in that example you said. And I'm assuming she wasn't, we can assume she wasn't paid. That wasn't an endorsement deal, right? That was just an honest, organic, this is who I'm listening to. Boom, he blew up. Shouldn't she have been paid for that? And that's the future of, and that's the reality of Wavy, is someone like Kylie Jenner or someone with 10,000 followers can make that spread, right? Can make the difference on their influence for that particular artist.
And this gets just into the strategy of influencer marketing, right? That a strong strategy. You should have the celebrity influencers. You should have those mid-tier macro influencers, those 100,000 to 1 million, and then you should have even the nano and the micro influencers. Now, I mean, just because you've got 500 or 1,000 followers, if you've got true influence over those people and you can get 100 of them to go and play a song on Spotify, there's value there. Now imagine if you had 1,000, 2,000, 5,000 people promoting a song, all with 10,000 followers plus. You're reaching millions and millions of people.
Absolutely, and for me, I'd rather be discovered on a person's social media that maybe has 1,000 real dedicated friends that are followers, and a handful of those are his family, and he gets 5 people to learn about that new artist. To me, that's way more valuable than the 5 people that radio says listens to the radio when they turn the knob on or off, and that's it for the whole day, whether it was a commercial, whether it was a different station, right? The analytics even for radio that they then deliver to the labels and say, hey, let me play your record, are so horrible. I would rather the 5 people on the guy or girl with 1,000 followers. I'd rather that than the guy in the car with this, because you're being influenced by your friend, right? It's not some random DJ at that particular time who's, like you said, getting paid to just promote the same 5 songs in a row every day, all day.
Right. No, that makes a lot of sense. So,
and I guess one thing I want to say, the coolest thing that it's like radios has to spend all that same money, if you think about it, and they have satellites right now in the solar system, right, to make it so we can then listen to the radio. But for us, we don't have to do that, and instead we can give all that money that is spent, and actually that's what we deliver back to the people who deliver the influence of the music, right? So instead of satellites, we're just giving it back to the influencers. That's what's like, to me, the cool. And again, if you get a song or 5 million people, you're going to be compensated.
So you've got Cumulus, you've got radio. How many people are listening to radio in the US? Is it like 200, 300 million or something like that?
So if you go to Cumulus Radio, which is just like a publicly traded broadcasting company, they on their website, and this is $1 billion, I think they said they did $1 billion in revenue last year. $1 billion, publicly traded company. They said they reached 250 million people. Now, I also know 250 million people, that's how many cars on the road in America is 250 million. So they basically say we broadcasted to 250 million people who own cars, who have the little radio thing in their car, right? And that's where they get their number to become $1 billion broadcasting company. In a sense, we can reach the same numbers and surpass them exponentially through influencers, whether they're micro, the biggest, the smallest, it won't matter. And that
this is giving me chills, and it's kind of laughable because I'm on the Cumulus website. I'm looking at it. 245 million people reached each week, captivating their audiences, they say. Captivating their audiences. Yet there's 800 million people on Instagram alone. And can I just drop some numbers? But in the Wavy network, we already are approaching 200 million people, meaning essentially Wavy has the reach of radio already, and you can track the clicks, you can track the plays. Why, Senate? Why the fuck is the industry building satellites, launching them around the planet, spending money to broadcast to people in their cars when they could simply be doing it for a fraction of the cost and tracking the ROI through social?
It's called too late, I think. I mean, in my opinion, the coolest brand in radio, and maybe you'll agree or heard of it, iHeartRadio, right? To me is like the most up and up thing in the radio world, iHeartRadio, which is their app, right? They just filed for bankruptcy, if you looked, like a couple weeks ago. And to me, that's like the coolest thing in the space, right? You know why? I think it's too late. I think the fact is that they already own the satellites. These things really cost just over the top amounts of money that I really can't even comprehend. And I think it's already happening. And look, now you can have a Spotify, you can have SoundCloud, Pandora. I mean, there's just endless apps, title, and services to stream music that I hear a little echo.
Uh-oh.
But it might be just me.
It's you, bro. It's just
okay.
you.
Okay. So yeah, he's pretty bad.
Is it? If you mute the actual live stream, I'm not sure if you have that tab open or not. That will help.
Okay. Yeah.
Do you have that? Meanwhile, all you ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you are here, you're listening, smash that like button, give some love, say what's up, let us know where you're coming from, let's jive, let's shake, let's roll, you know, and all of the people who are going to be viewing this afterwards, I hope that you are pacing with this because this is some exciting shit, man. We're talking about a change, a major change here, and it's kind of exciting because essentially, Senate, we're not saying you got to be a celebrity to be able to get in on this. In fact, there's an argument to say that the everyday person has got more weight collectively together.
Yeah,
than one
and
individual.
if you told me you have one person with 100 million followers, or like I said, the 10,000 people that equal the 100 million followers, I'll take the 10,000 people. Because to me, you have a more collective, influential army behind you rather than one person, you know. And like I said, and we've seen, there's a lot of studies, there's a lot of analytics to show that would be more worthwhile. Right.
Model approved in the house, saying this is so cool. I got nothing but love for you, girl. And if you have any question, guys, drop them in the chat because we're going to be answering them here at the end of this bad boy too. That's the whole point of this, baby. We want to bring the love. We want to bring the flavor. We want to bring what's new, and we want to help you guys out. So let's keep diving deeper, bro. How can you promote music? What are some of the creative ways? You've got playlists. You've got live events. How is Wavy going to? What is Wavy looking to facilitate on the creative level with the influencer?
Wait, I'm sorry.
God damn it, Senate. Come on. We got delay. We got feedback issues. It's okay. We still love you, Senate. I'm just going to go live again over here. Check 1 2. Check 1 2.
Yo, hello?
Just a little intermission.
For some reason,
back,
I'm sorry.
Just a little intermission until you come back, homie. You feel me?
Boom. All right, we're both in running.
We're back at it again. Ladies and gentlemen, grab some popcorn, grab your dog, grab your girlfriend, give her a kiss, grab your husband, lick his face, baby. It's a joyous time to be alive. We are chilling here with the one and only Senate. This is Bob Dylan's son, ladies and gentlemen. We are here speaking with Bob Dylan's son, Senate D. Dylan. What is cracking, my man? We're back.
I'm not Bob Dylan's son.
Anyway, so we're talking music, we're talking influencers, we're talking Wavy, and guys, by this time, if you haven't joined, you can join right now by just clicking the link in the description below. Takes you to Wavy's website. We explain how you can be a part of the Wavy influencer community. All it takes is 4 questions. We ask you your name, your Instagram handle, to YouTube link, and boom, you hit apply and you line up for us. And then how does that work? We reach out to you when the brand deals come, right? Senate, tell them a little bit about what they can expect if they want to join the platform.
So basically, once you sign up, you're in our system. We have your contact info. Right now, we are really talking with some of the biggest labels and artists in the industry here in LA, over in New York. Very soon, we're going to have the first essentially deals done. Right now, you know, if you can bear with us, we are in beta. So this is just, I mean, weeks, I think maybe a week, right? Or 10 days since we even got the site up and all that stuff. So we're certainly in beta. So, you know, don't hit send and then refresh your email every second. But we are absolutely working out, you know, again, like really cool deals with new artists, and we will be reaching out to you via email shortly to see if you're interested. And it would basically be like, hey, you know, here's this new song, here's this new artist. You would listen to it and decide if it's something you'd want to play behind your social media. Maybe it's your Instagram, maybe it's adding it to your Spotify playlist. If there's one thing I can basically suggest in the meantime, so let's say you sign up and you're like, what can I do now though, just until I hear from you? And I can explain why this would be a benefit. Basically, I would say build a Spotify playlist, right? Whatever, or maybe use SoundCloud, maybe use YouTube, whatever platform you like spending time on, right? And use naturally, organically. What do you already have? Maybe you already have a good YouTube channel. Make a YouTube playlist where you add songs onto it. Share that, take that playlist link, put it in your link in bio on Instagram, and start building and seeing if your followers are enjoying the music you're sharing, right? Be like, hey, I'm about to hop on a plane for 5 hours. Let's go to the link in bio to follow along to the playlist. Hey, I'm working out. This is what I listen to when I work out. Hey, I'm getting ready. This is how I turn up before I go out. Or, you know, whatever it is, I think there's cool playlists for all of those. And we don't realize it, but like your followers want to know what you're listening to. Yeah. And building that level of engagement is going to help you, whether I'm wavy or not, right? Forget the whole wavy thing. I would always tell any influencer, try to build all levels of engagement on all platforms that you like, right? I don't try to get people to join things or start doing things that they're not like natively interested in or want to, but try to just incorporate music in your social, however, which way you can. And take note, let us know, right? Let us know the feedback you're getting from that. And that's like an amazing way to a little homework, you know, sign up and then do a little homework and start building that level. So when we come to you with the deals, it's like simple. You don't even have to make a playlist. You're like, boom, send it. I already got this. That's going to increase your rate, right? Talk about wanting to make more. Yeah, we want to get everyone paid, but you want to make more money. Get those followers up. Start building that engagement. Get playlist listens. It won't, and again, you know, it doesn't have to be Spotify. It doesn't have to be. It can be whatever you love and are comfortable with. Let's start there.
I love that. So for all of you guys on Instagram right now, go and click the link in the bio to hop over to YouTube and join us live. And this is a great bit of information that you just dropped, guys, because again, everybody's going to be watching this for the most part. You guys are influencers. You're growing on Instagram. You're growing on social. You're growing your YouTube channels, and you need content, right? And we just polled the Disruptive School of Influence community, and it was only 40% of the people, I think, who said that they actually even shared music on Instagram before. So there's a large percentage of you guys that might not have even considered how music can be a content strategy. Music can drive value. And if you create a playlist on Spotify, let's just say, and you can track the followers, think of it like another social media platform. We talk about this a lot, the importance of diversifying your followers across multiple platforms, right? So think of Spotify as a value play. If you can build a monthly subscription or a monthly listener list to one of your playlists or multiple playlists, that will become leverage that you can use, that we can use on your behalf when you join Wavy to negotiate deals, right? If you've got 100,000 people, if you've got 1,000 people, if you've got 20,000 people listening to a playlist, there is so much value there. And again, there are articles coming out right now talking about the black market for Spotify playlists and how artists are blowing up by just simply getting featured on Spotify's playlists and whatnot, right? And it's a crazy time. It's untapped.
Yeah, look, I started this in 2011, all right? Nobody would have thought anyone cares about what shoes a random person wears. But we've seen that actually people do care, whether it's your friends, whether it's the random people you don't know that follow you. Make it up. When you make up these, and when I say make it up, it's like share the music. Yeah, no, you don't know if anyone cares, whatever. Make it up because eventually people will care. They're gonna stick to that. And then like right now the labels haven't caught up to this, right? That's the opportunity of Wavy. But right now Guess and all these other brands, right? They're DMing you, they're emailing you all the time. That right, Daniel Wellington, I think, is a great example, right? Are they emailing every single one of us, hey, promote our watch, right? That hasn't happened yet in the label industry. So because it hasn't, we can connect those people. But in the meantime, start making up that your followers care about it, right? And they will. That's the reality, right? And you know, some people say like, how can I start whatever? Let's pretend it's clothes, for example, right? Let's start because fashion's just easy. If the brands aren't paying you, pretend like they are, right? And I always say, because if you do, once the brand starts paying you, they're gonna your followers won't know, right? Your followers won't be like, oh, this is an ad. They're not gonna. It's actually going to be much more organic when it's much more organic when you're already doing it, right? It's not like the first time you tag the company is because you're being paid. To me, that would be off-putting. Your followers are like, well, you've never one time said what kind of pants you're wearing. This is the first time. It's like, to me, even if you don't know it, I think you're going to be displeased as a follower. And it'll be a subtle notice that maybe you're not like, If you always tag because you're always letting your followers know everything you wear, when that brand's paying you, nobody will know. It's so organic and cool and it just slipped in. And that's the same with the music, right? Start being like, I love this artist. It's a new song. It's the same want and craving. Maybe it's your workout tips. You know, believe it or not, but music helps when you work out, right? Like you get that feeling. I'm not like the biggest rock fan, right? And I don't work out a ton, but I would love to know what The Rock listens to when he works out. And I bet you a playlist that like The Rock listens to would be so motivational and so cool for so many people. And again, can The Rock make money or monetize a playlist? Maybe soon, right? Because Spotify potentially can access The Rock, right? So I'm not even saying this is like a fix for those mega celebrities, but it's just that's the need for it. We want to bring that to every common person like you, me, and in between.
So Dwayne Douglas Johnson, aka The Rock, if you are listening to this live, my man, hit up Wavy, because listen, people need to know what you are listening to when you're working out. And listen, you need to get paid for it.
Absolutely. And it's funny because Obama put out his playlist a bit ago, maybe it was like 6 months ago, and it like people loved it. It went crazy, and it was text. It wasn't even, nothing was clickable, and the thing went viral, his playlist. And then actually Michelle put out a playlist, and I think Spotify, see, they're starting to sniff this, right? They're like, hold on. He put out a playlist, but why wasn't Spotify mentioned, right? The next playlist, it seemed to be Michelle's Spotify playlist, right? So these things are starting to get figured out. It's just, again, the distance between these micro influencers or even big influencers is so far disconnected. Whereas, yeah, maybe Michelle or maybe The Rock can have access to Spotify, right? We might really see The Rock playlist soon. That's just going to prove the point of why this is so real, powerful, and needs to be done in the influencer space.
You're going to start seeing a lot more music getting promoted. We're starting to see the little inclinations of this happening. Like, for example, Gary Vee, he makes a whole thing about his Monday playlist and promotes it almost as if he's getting paid by Spotify to do so. Do you think that they're beginning to sniff this and actually get in the game? I know that Kim was paid to promote.
Yeah. I think Spotify absolutely has sniffed it out, and I think they're going. I think so. Spotify, what I noticed they did first Their first people, and this is again more my opinion rather than anything I've actual factual knowledge of, but what I saw in the social media landscape was Spotify and artists. Artists seem to be promoting Spotify first. I think that was a miss, right? We love Rihanna's music, but we typically, DJs and hosts and these the people who curate the music are often different than the people who make the music, right? So trying to get Rihanna to promote that and the different artists, let's say, I don't think was the right on move. Right now, I think they're in the phase of let's go after the biggest talent in the world. Who did they go after first? Basically, Kim Kardashian.
Right.
And I think they're going to slowly keep moving in that way. The reality is, can we move faster in the influencer space than them? Absolutely, right? We already have these relations with like that number you said.
200 million people and
exactly. And you and I know when Spotify or a major brand.
We're gunning for you, Cumulus, in the next 2 to 3 months. We will have past the reach of radio. Senate, that is not a small feat, bro.
Dude, March, that you said it, it's March 30th. In 2 to 3 months, we are going to make a $1 billion company radio, a publicly traded Cumulus radio type organization look like a peanut, and without having.
Are you listening? Dr. Dre, you guys are pissed off and bored. Everybody's playing the same music, distributing it the same way. You guys are forward thinking. This is a call out from Wavy, Senate, and myself saying, hit us up. If you guys want to know how, you can just hit my email up. It's in the bio. It's in the description, guys. I made it easy for you. And let's talk about this because listen, I mean, like, Senate, do you think that, like, regardless of whether or not labels hop on board, is there not a play here, an amazing opportunity? This is actually really where I'm excited for the future of Wavy to go. For independent artists to come on, what does it look like? And we've talked about this a little bit, right? We've talked about the big players in the industry. What does it look like when the independent artists can come into the Wavy platform, almost like a marketplace, right? You see marketplaces out there, but come in and connect with people who love their music. What does it look like with me, the nobody musician, right? Posts my song and connects with some people with like interests and they dig it and they want to do cross-pollination and promotion. We've now then democratized the distribution of music from the labels and from the radio into everybody's hands. Is there not a future there? Is there not something interesting and exciting about that?
Oh, I mean, absolutely. And again, I think that's like maybe a V2, right, of what Wavy is. Initially going after those labels, new artists, major artists, but without question, with this platform and distribution of the people being paid, right? Again, no satellite having to pay for that, but the people getting that money. It is 100% that just like if we're a small account, right, and we have an Instagram, we can actually pay Instagram. Remember I said in the beginning, Facebook and Instagram, well, Facebook is Instagram. Facebook is trying to stop our ads, right? So the reality is,
ads, sorry, just to be clear, when you say ads, you mean the influencer ads.
Yeah, right. They're trying to do anything they can.
Money from it.
Right. They're trying to do anything they can to make it so a time an influencer is paid by what they think was a brand, it's seen by less people because they would want it if the brand pays Facebook it to have a better conversion. So the next time they spend money, it's not to the influencer, it's to Facebook.
This is important, guys. Sorry, I gotta hop in here, okay? Because everybody's feeling the fucking engagement pinch. Look what just happened with Facebook. They've reduced the engagement down to 0% if you're a page. So they're doing this for personal pages, forcing you to do what? Become a business profile so you can promote your posts. And for anybody who's in the influencer space, if you're an agency, if you are a small service provider offering influencer marketing, if you're an influencer, the agencies who are getting this are now already starting to just simply negotiate paid promotions, paid posts through the influencers platforms anyway. So it's all going to this, in this direction anyway.
Exactly. And so the reality is making it as easy as Facebook has, right? In the cool way of I can spend $10 right now on Instagram, right, and reach, I don't know what it says, like 4,000 people, right? In my area, it'll tell me, right? So the idea is doing 100% the same thing, allowing anyone to say, I want to push this song to X amount of people. My budget is $34. Send. And Jane and Tim and Smith, they each get a cut of that $34 because they've shared it, and 4 people, 2 people, 100 people listen to that song. And this guy got, you know, thousands of new listeners by spending his own small amount of money. There's really no way for a new artist to push a song, link, or anything in that way in any type of recorded system. It's just not feasible. And so that's absolutely the idea, is allowing any artist, small, big, to literally take his own, really, this allows them to take their own career in their own hands.
Yes.
You know, eventually I see this as absolutely disturbing the, in a way, the label industry, because there's such a, and again, that's the reason this has occurred, because you can email guests, you can email PacSun, I can email Abercrombie and Fitch and be like, please send me some stuff, right? We don't know who to email for what artist. There's labels in the way. And then all at the top and top and top of that is the radio industry, right? So when you really remove all of that and you take what radio is good for, and what's radio good for? It's exposure, getting people to hear it.
That's it.
You just take that part. You have something that removes really a lot of the BS, and you know, as stuff as useless as the satellites, and I think corporations and people that just really aren't needed, and in the way where we can, again, give it back to the people who distribute the actual songs, and that's you, the influencer.
Bravo, bravo, bro. Now you got to know a little side fact here, because you sound like a Cape Crusader. You sound like a vigilante. Little do you know, this man, Senate, actually goes to the streets fighting cops and parking meter maids and exposing the harsh truth and reality of their injustice through the use of social media. He calls himself a micro-influencer, but you've grown Mr. Checkpoint to 30,000 followers in the LA area, right? And now you're taking on the music and influencer industry. You are a legend, bro, and I love you. Now you've got a quote that I need you to repeat here about people who listen to music. And what is that quote? Do you remember that?
Yeah, I think the premise of Wavy is built on this idea that every single day someone dies that only listened to the radio, and every day someone is born that will never listen to the radio. And so if you believe that, you'll definitely believe in Wavy.
Yeah, say no more, baby. Say no more. I love it. Harsh truth. And it's an exciting time. It is an exciting time to be in this.
Absolutely. It's a beautiful time. I mean, if anything, I think we're nearly early, if right on time, in this particular industry. And like you said a little bit earlier, Gary Vee, I don't know if you guys know who that is or you guys follow, but obviously he's a very smart, savvy social media guy. And you know, he's been promoting his music for I would want to say about probably a year or more, okay, close to a year. And he was probably one of the first few, call him an influencer, people I've seen promoting the music. And I would have to factually say there's no way he was getting paid in the beginning of that. Maybe he's seeing something now, maybe. But truthfully, he did it because he wanted to build that level of engagement. And again, that's what all of you should be trying to do. It can be books, books, music, movies, what you like to wear, what you like to buy, what you like to download. These are all levels that you should be touching on, right? What you like to eat, and see how they go with your people. But the more you can you can give them, the more you'll get, actually. And like I look at someone like DJ Khaled, right? This like random DJ who came really off Snapchat out of nowhere, you know, and yeah, he had some hits, but his success has been, truthfully, in my opinion, in so many ways comes from his authenticity and the dimensions he shows, right? How many people are showing the toothpaste and toothbrush and the soap but how many deals is he able to garnish really in an organic way because he did it in that way, right? He showed everything. Well, now you get a deal for everything. You know, and honestly, that's real. And so, like, don't wait for the email from us to say, hey, you know, here's some bucks to promote the song. Today, start promoting some kind of music. Start getting your followers interested and engaged in that aspect, so that when we do say, here's some money to promote this person, it's not the first time. They're not like, well, were you just paid? You don't want that to be the comment, right? Who paid you for this? You want it to be like, thanks for another artist. You want that to be the comment. Thanks for another music suggestion.
Right. Okay, beautiful. So listen, guys. So if you're listening to this now, in the future, to join, it's so simple. You just got to go to wavy.io. You can click the link in the description of this video. It's completely free to join, and all you got to do is enter in your name and your Instagram and YouTube handle, and we're gonna get back to you, baby. Look, there it is. We are high here. Wavy.io, baby.
Super high tech. Yeah, just
Wavy. Like look, there's a chat too we can use. Watch this. Boom. Wavy.io. Oh, it didn't work.
If there's any questions or whatnot, we can always get back to you as well. If there's any now.
There we go. Yeah, so thanks for taking the time, brother, man. This is the future. I'm excited to be a part of this with you, brother. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. We'll be following up. You can also email us. The emails are in the description. And we're here, baby. We're here to rock and roll. And if you are not part of the Disruptive School of Influence, make sure you check that out too. Link in the description. And we're coming live at you every week now. So you're going to be hearing more from Senate. And
absolutely.
Anything else you got for the people? Anything you want to wrap with?
Dude, just crush today. And post something you've never posted and just see that it didn't.
One last time, post something you didn't post and
post something you've never posted before. See that it didn't matter, and then keep doing that.
I love it. I love it. I love it. My dude, my guy, Senate, you are the man, bro. I love you dearly. Thank you for taking the time, bro. And
thanks for having me.
Woo! It's going down. It went down in Chinatown, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Wavy, driving you crazy. Ow! We out.